What's up, Leafs Nation? Welcome back to another game preview. I'm Zack Phillips, and today, game number 18 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season as they head to Washington to take on the Capitals in the second night of a back-to-back. Not the best game. Not the best from the Toronto Maple Leafs last night against the Ottawa Senators, getting shut out for the second time this season. The first time on home ice, mind you, in 3 years. We talk about this team and how they're this run and gun team who can go up and down the ice and score goals with anybody. You want to play pond hockey? The Toronto Maple Leafs can get it done. They can do that. They can play that style of game, and yet all of a sudden, twice this year, they have been shut out. Opening night against Montreal Canadiens, surely a night you'd like to score a couple of goals. And then last night, Game 17, their season opener of the series, mind you, against the Ottawa Senators, and they drop it 3-0. A stinker of a game, zero energy, zero excitement, zero life in that building. Anthony Stolarz is really the big bright spot. The penalty kill goes perfect on the night as well. I guess if you wanted to add another check into something that is like, okay, that one also looked good, but outside of that, that's pretty much it. Leafs fans' biggest excitements out of last night's game. Craig Berube yelling at William Nylander. They were happy with that. Stolarz, again, I'll go back to that. And the final buzzer. Those were pretty much the biggest positives of last night's game. So what are you going to bring here on the second night of a back-to-back after you have to travel to Washington to take on a 10-4 Capitals team that honestly I thought was on the wrong side of the hill, and last season finally find a way to pull it together, get themselves into the playoffs, and everyone says, well, let's pump the brakes. It's not going to happen this year. And yet, to this point, it has been the case, and the Washington Capitals have looked good so far. So how are you going to respond? How are you going to show up against this team? Are you going to say, you know what, last night was a blip in the radar and we didn't play well, we're going to figure it out here tonight? Are you going to listen to Craig Berube, listen to the criticism he had for you, and say, yeah, you know what, we need to improve on those things? We'll find out here tonight, and we will find out with some of the lineups that we've got here, courtesy of Daily Faceoff. First, looking at where we are top to bottom, there's not too much to break down as of right now. We're really hearing no news out of these guys about any lineup changes, so I do want to caution you that there could potentially be some type of change here from now when this video is being recorded to the time the video is being released, to the time you watch the video, to the time that the game starts, because traveling, you're probably not going to find out too much information about this group, and if there's going to be any changes, mind you, from the forwards perspective, as for going in and out of the lineup, there's not really many options. Matthews still out, Pacioretty still out, so those things are going to hinder you there. Obviously, Calle Jarnkrok has not played yet this season. That's not going to be an option for you. So who goes in and out can't change. Who plays on what line could change. Right now, Matthew Knies, Max Domi, Mitch Marner, first line. I saw a lot of people last night giving Max Domi some garbage about how he's been playing lately. I understand he needs to be better, but caution, he's not a first-line center. He's not going to be the first-line center. This is not going to sustain. So let's relax on that. That being said, as a line, they need to be better. Mitch has been really good without Austin. Last night, not so much. Just kind of got swept away in the game and just never really showed up for us. Obviously lost our best bet last night, over 2.5 shots on goal for him. Doesn't cash for us. So it just kind of felt like he just kind of disappeared into last night's game. And obviously you look at the stats at the end, minus, one shot on goal, like no good. No good from Mitch. He needs to step up. Matthew Knies, that was probably the first night the entire season that I've said, didn't really notice him. I don't think he was a net negative for us in terms of the eye test, at least. Yeah, you can look at minuses on the stat sheet for sure, but I didn't really say, oh, wow, he was terrible. He just kind of didn't do anything. Second line, Bobby McMahon, John Tavares, William Nylander. I wonder if at some point here we're going to see Berube swap this out or keep it a little bit more fluid and give Robertson some runway onto that line. Bobby, I think, is probably a better fit, given that he can be a guy who can step up and add physical game, win board battles, forecheck hard. I know these are cliches, but they're things that he brings that Nick Robertson doesn't, and I think it's a versatile aspect that he can provide to that line that they need that you won't really get from 89. Now, down to the third line. Nick Robertson is currently slotted there, left winger on the third line. Him, Pontus Holmberg, Connor Dewar. Again, concerns. I'm not going to go back into it. I talked about it yesterday in the pregame, talked about it yesterday in the postgame. It's been a big topic of discussion here the last little while. This third line is providing you nothing right now. No offense, no physicality. They're just kind of a nothing line, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but like you want some contribution in an aspect of the game. Like, I'm not even talking about just, oh, I want to see them score. Like, no, they're just, there's no physicality to them. There's no punishment. There's no hard forecheck that is like every single shift they're doing that and causing the defense to be concerned and scared and have to move pucks so quickly and turn things over. Like, it's just not a part of their game. It's not happening right now. That's a frustrating thing when you watch this third line go out there. They need an identity and they don't have one right now. Hopefully that can start tonight. Fourth line here, Steve Lorentz, David Kampf, Ryan Reeves. Fourth line for tonight. They have an identity. They have been pretty good actually to this point in the season at kind of showing that and playing with that identity. I have no issue. You're going to get an opportunity for Ryan Reeves to fight his first one of the season tonight against Tom Wilson. If he's in this lineup still, which I would assume Ryan Reeves will still be in the lineup tonight. But there's a chance. Is he going to take it? We'll find out. The fourth line, at least to me, has had some type of identity. Scroll down to our defense for tonight's game. Morgan Riley, Ekman Larson, Jake McCabe, Chris Tanev, Simone Benoit, Connor Timmins. Last night was the first night that Oliver Ekman Larson to me stood out, and I went, ooh, not a good game for him. Morgan Riley also kind of came back. I think they did it as a pair. They just fell off the face of the earth last night. Not the greatest. Even Chris Tanev didn't have the best night. Jake McCabe is a contributor on the Amadio goal on the wall. Doesn't get man, doesn't get puck. Ugly night for everyone last night. So I expect a big response out of this group. That being said, this is a team that we have come to expect big responses out of, and then it has come up short. So are we going to expect a big response, and then we actually should be expecting no response at all? Potentially. But are they different? Who knows? I heard Devontae Smith-Pelly use that word on the Leafs Morning Take Show this morning. The only thing I could potentially see happening here tonight is Yanni Hakanpää appearance. For those of you who don't know, Yanni Hakanpää activated off of LTIR. I don't think he goes tonight. That's just a guess. This is not any information that I know or have. This is a guess. I don't think he goes tonight, and the reason being, Connor Dewar did not play right away when he was back with the Leafs team. We saw him even skate in pregame warm-up on Friday against the Red Wings and did not play. So I would not be shocked at all if Hakanpää is out there for warm-up or something and does not play. But he is activated from LTIR. He does have the ability to play tonight. And I think if he does play, the guy I would be looking for that would come out would probably be Simone Benoit. Connor Timmins has been too good. I think that Berube really likes him. It's not to say that he doesn't like Benoit, but like you got bottom pair of guys who are going to be going through a little bit of a carousel here to audition for that spot and who was going to be in there when you need it the most and when you need to trust the guy. Hakanpää is going to get a chance to go if he's healthy, and he obviously gets cleared here. So I feel like it's Benoit just to even maybe give him a jolt and say, hey, dude, no issues with what you've been doing, but you could be better. We're going to take you out of the lineup, and maybe that smacks him across the face a little bit and says, hey, get things going here. Wake up. You're good. And then maybe that's the thing, but I don't know. Personally, I just don't expect Hakanpää to go based on history, at least of the one player sample of Dewar not going right away when he came back. That's just me. That's a guess. Obviously, I could be proven wrong. As for goaltenders, Stolarz plays last night, plays a incredible game for this team, still manages to get shut out by the goalie on the other end. We had Carter Hutton on last night. He talked about it, and he's like, yeah, easy night. Like, you don't want to call a shutout easy, but relatively easy night for Ullmark at the other end of the ice. Stolarz faces a heavy workload, ends up still putting up like a .925 save percentage on the night. How are you going to complain about that guy? I mean, the only goal really, Amadio, that I probably would say, hey, he might want that one back. But even then, is it that bad? Was it that bad? I don't think so. expecting for Joseph Woll to go in here. Obviously, second night of a back-to-back. What's the point of firing Stolarz out there over and over and over and over again? Let the guy get some rest at least and give Joseph Woll a chance to get in the net here tonight. Let's get to our best bet and turn things in the right direction for us. We'll keep it short. We'll keep it simple. Let's head over to Bet365. The best bet segment is brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of the Leafs Nation pregame and the Leafs Nation After Dark. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N, code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. So we're going to head on over to Bet365. Obviously, if you're following along with how we've done throughout the course of this season, record-wise, not the best. 5-13 is the record on the season, but we're not going for records here. We're betting things that are plus money. And I saw comments yesterday, oh, don't minus money, there's no value, blah, blah, blah. This is simply just not true. The way betting works, you can find value on any numbers. You can find value on minus 200s, minus 300s. If you think the line should be minus 400 and it's minus 300, guess what? That's value. Not just because it's plus money, is it value? First of all, wrong use of the word. Second of all, if you're not betting minus money because you think it has no value, you just don't know. You got to educate. You got to find things out. Be open to listening and learning. We're not going for record here on the show. 5-13 on the pick so far, but we're only down 1.3 units. We're going proper on this. Responsible betting. We are making sure that every single time we're opening up the account, we are making sure it is responsible units. We're basing this off of how big is the favorite, how big is the plus money, the underdog, right? Once you get into these pluses, it is less than likely to happen. That's why they are plus money. That means there's a less than 50% chance for these events to occur. That's what people have to realize. They're not going to hit at a 50% rate, but you hit enough of them, and we'll be up on the season. So we're only down 1.3 units right now. We're kind of hovering in that spot, up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit, down a little bit right now. And tonight, I think we get things back on track and go back up. So let's go over to the Bet365 page. We're going to pull it up there into the NHL section, which, I mean, I talk about this every single time, but it amazes me every single time. You pull up Bet365, look at that. NFL, NHL, NBA, tennis, CONCACAF, UFC, Grey Cup is coming up. The Toronto Argos back in the Grey Cup. You want to bet on that? Head on over to Bet365 to do so, but that's not what we're doing today. Today, we are betting on the Maple Leafs game. So we're going to go Leafs, Capitals. We're going to go to player props. Simple. Johnny T, anytime goal scorer, plus 210 tonight. John Tavares, anytime goal, plus 210. $50 wins you 105 profit on the night. $105 profit for John Tavares goal. $50, half unit on this one. Look, the reasoning is simple. Johnny T has looked really good lately. Last night, first stinker in a while. Nylander looked really good lately. Last night, also first stinker in a while. Guess who the two players were who came out in the media after the fact and owned up to everything that happened? Tavares said, yep, not good enough. That's not good. We shouldn't be happy about that. Whatever you think about it and whatever you think about his statements, which I'm not really the biggest fan of myself, just how these things are said and how Leafs fans typically interpret them, he's kind of got to get a better read, in my opinion. But that's good. He came out and owned it. And I think he personally is someone who will take that on the shoulder, on the chin, and hold it on shoulders and say, we got to get better tonight. We're going to be better against the Capitals tonight. It starts with me. I will be better. You know who else took it in on the chin in post game? William Nylander. That line is going to step up tonight. I think they're going to be really involved. Power play fell off a cliff again last night. Both of them are on the power play. Johnny T, anytime goal, plus 210, I think is going to be a great bet here tonight. Best price in market over at Bet365 right now. If you're going to bet this, make sure to do it there. But that's my best bet for tonight. $50 on this one. Profits you 105 on the night. So if you enjoyed the game preview, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel, Leafs Nation 401 right here on YouTube. We will be back tonight for another Leafs Nation After Dark to break this one down. Hopefully things are in a much better spot than they were last night against the Senators. This is a red-hot Washington Capitals team. Ovi pushing to catch Wayne Gretzky. But can the Maple Leafs go in there and stifle them? We will find out. We will break it all down here tonight. Drop your predictions below. Let me know your thoughts on the game, how you feel like this one will go, and what your best bet is. Look forward to seeing it. And as always, keep believing. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos, make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.